If there's one thing I want you guys to take from the recent Prince Harry BBC interview after he lost his security case appeal is that the world got to witness how disgusting, how vile, how evil King Charles really is. Also how pathetic the other leftover royals are. They got to see that, and thanks to social media right now, because you cannot manipulate social media, you cannot gaslight them. That is one of the tactics that King Charles used to use back then with Princess Diana. He used that, but now thanks to social media you cannot do that. People get to see the truth. You may hide it, you may deflect, you may try one or two things, but people are opening up and the world gets to see that. And thanks to Harry for opening up, letting the world know, we get to see it. And now there's so many things that are being unleashed when it comes to King Charles. One of them, there's a video that's making rounds on X and it has hundreds of thousands of hits. And in this video, King Charles is shaking hands with people except a black man's hand. And I think, just watch this video, I'm going to insert it there. Once you see this, you are going to understand why this man hates his biracial daughter-in-law and his biracial grandkids, Archie and Lilibet. This man has been racist. I remember even before Archie was born, Meghan and Harry opened up by saying that certain senior members of the royal family who had concerns about how dark Archie's skin tone is going to be. And then later on, it was uncovered that those two senior royal members were none other than King Charles and Kate Middleton. Racist. Racist. And now the world gets to see and gets to know that this man is racist, pathetic. They are literally digging up a lot of things, evidence that showcases he's been racist. He hates black people. He has been for a while. And it's also bizarre and it's hypocritical, but he is, in the head of Commonwealth. And among these nations, the Commonwealth nations, majority of these people are black people and brown people. And this man is out here literally being racist to black people. And that is why he does not want to give his son security. You know why? Because his son married a woman of color. And they have also, mixed babies. That's what he hates. And it's also just a vile, disgusting human being because he wants his son to end up the way his mother did. He does not care what happens to them. It's crazy. It's bizarre. So I came across such an amazing article and I love these people. They are called Feminegra. They have amazing articles. You guys need to definitely 1000% check them out. They have such a very well written article. And I felt I should definitely share this with you because we need to expose this man. The world is literally waking up to how just disgusting he is. So King Charles refuses to speak to Harry while protecting royal racism. And then there's a documented account of King Charles' racist remarks, public silence, and refusal to defend his biracial family. Yeah, so buckle up. It's about to get bumpy. So, while the royal press works overtime to polish the monarchy's image, Prince Harry has exposed a truth they can't spin. King Charles won't speak to him, even as the media claims he's eager to connect with his mixed-race grandchildren. Royal aides and media allies have pushed the monarchy as a symbol of quiet dignity and modern progress for years, but that image hides a long record of racial insensitivity and imperial entitlement. King Charles now leads the Commonwealth, an alliance of 56 nations, 48 of which are majority black or brown. That's over 85% of the bloc. Yet the institution he represents was built on colonization, and he continues to benefit from its legacy without reckoning with its harm. His personal actions, dismissive comments, and calculated silences raise urgent questions about whether he has the moral legitimacy to represent such a diverse global body from refusing to protect from refusing to protect his biracial grandchildren to ignoring the racist abuse endured by his daughter-in-law, Meghan Sussex. Charles' failures are not just personal, they are institutional. They reveal a monarchy unwilling to confront its own legacy of exclusion and harm. So here's the first evidence. King Charles has a documented pattern of racist remarks and racial silence. Charles has never defended his biracial grandson. The most damning moment came when Meghan and Harry revealed that a senior royal questioned how dark Archie's skin would be. Reports later identified Charles and Kate as the likely sources. Charles never denied the allegation, nor did he defend his biracial grandson, whom he tried to strip of a royal title and later refused security. BBC radio host Danny Baker fueled the racism by tweeting an image comparing Archie to a chimpanzee, while tabloid columnist mocked Meghan as the banana baroness and likened her to a monkey. These dehumanizing attacks reflect the same white supremacist framing the monarchy has consistently failed to challenge. Charles said she didn't look British. When Charles told British Guyanese journalist Anita Sethi that she didn't look like she was from Manchester, the comment echoed on all too familiar belief that whiteness defined Britishness. It happened at a Commonwealth forum, making the insult sharper. Sethi later wrote that anyone who thinks like that should not lead a diverse organization like the Commonwealth. That wasn't an isolated incident. Journalist Yasmin Albihai Brown shared how the royal family reacted with outrage to Princess Diana's relationship with men of color, revealing a long-standing discomfort with interracial unions. These are not rumors, they are patterns. Here's the second one. The royals couldn't handle Diana's brown lovers. Albihai Brown's account of the royal family's outrage over Princess Diana's relationships with two non-white men is further supported by none other than Piers Morgan. In a rare moment of candor, Morgan speculated that the British establishment could not tolerate the idea of Diana marrying and possibly becoming pregnant by Dodi Fayed, a Muslim man. He framed her as a threat, not just because of who she loved, but because she dared to challenge the system's moral authority. According to Morgan, Diana once told him, "I'm trouble to them. I won't go away. I won't go quiet." That sentiment now echoes through Meghan Sussex treatment, suggesting that when women of color or women aligned with non-white partners assert themselves in royal spaces, they are swiftly marked as threats to be silenced or sidelined. And then Charles disrespects cultures he claims to represent. Footage from Canada captured King Charles and Queen Camilla laughing during a ceremonial throat singing performance by Inuit women in 2017. That moment, dismissed by royalists as trivial, deeply offended indigenous observers whose traditions were once threatened by British imperial policy. Charles' discomfort around non-white cultures appears to extend beyond Canada. Royal biographer Tom Bower said Charles never liked going to Africa and avoided it when he could. He preferred white Commonwealth countries and showed more interest in India than African nations. While serving as a symbolic leader of 2.5 billion people, he deliberately chose which nations mattered more. Kate Middleton, the future queen, has spent 14 years in the royal family without visiting a single one of the 19 African Commonwealth nations. That omission isn't accidental. It reflects the monarchy's ongoing neglect of the very countries it claims a divine right to lead under the guise of royal supremacy. While she is celebrated as a modern royal, her record suggests otherwise. In spare, Prince Harry reveals that he and Meghan proposed relocating to a Commonwealth country to continue serving the crown. But once the plan was leaked to the press, the narrative twisted, portraying it as Kate's idea to exile them to Africa, as if sending a biracial couple to the continent was a fitting punishment for seeking independence. Then Charles has repeated his racial bias for years, and the record shows it. After Queen Elizabeth died, monarchs came to show their respect. Yet footage shows King Charles walking a line of people smiling and shaking hands until he reaches the only black man. He skips him entirely, then continues as if nothing happened. That moment wasn't just awkward, it was revealing. It showed the kind of instinctual avoidance that comes from years of racism, not accident. During a 2023 visit to Metropolitan Police Headquarters, Charles praised British officers for their bravery in confronting public interest. He applauded their actions, labeled protesters as criminals, and endorsed the state's heavy-handed response despite growing concerns over police violence and racial bias. But when it comes to racially motivated violence or police brutality against Black Britons, he says nothing. He offers no condemnations, no solidarity, no words of support. His silence speaks volume. Inside his own household, racism wasn't just tolerated, it was embedded. In 2001, Elizabeth Burgess, a Black woman who served as child secretary, resigned after years of racist and sexist abuse. She reported being called slurs by a valet, mocked by Black jokes, and working in an environment that rejected any effort to promote diversity. They wanted a white face, she later said, describing the toxic culture under Charles' leadership. These aren't isolated incidents. They form a consistent pattern. Whether on camera, in palace halls, or on the national stage, Charles shows who he chooses to acknowledge and who he does not. The monarchy is complicit in media abuse. In 2016, Prince Harry released a rare find and instead staged a public appearance in Cardiff with their children. That wasn't just a scheduling conflict. It was a deliberate message, and one that, of course, was leaked to the press. This is the same King Charles who, according to multiple reports, was the royal who questioned how dark Harry and Meghan's child will be. That allegation has never been denied, so it tracks. Why would he show up for his mixed-race grandchildren if he was already uneasy about their existence? Now, amid his cancer diagnosis, Charles seeks public sympathy. Palace sources push stories casting him as a devoted grandfather who finds video calls with Archie and Lilibet insufficient. But Prince Harry has confirmed those calls don't happen. The narrative doesn't match reality, but actions speak louder than headlines. He denied security to Harry's family. He stood by as Meghan was torn apart, and he erased Harry's words and refused to stand up for his own blood. This is not a family man, it's a monarch protecting power over people and white image over truth. And then, the Commonwealth deserves better leadership. As head of the Commonwealth, Charles represents dozens of nations shaped by colonial violence. Many of those countries are demanding reparations, justice, and dignity. Yet his 2019 Caribbean tour, Charles chose to lay ruts and give speeches instead of addressing slavery, legacy, or Britain's role in it. Barbados even had to subside the cost of the royal visit. The royal family continues to exploit former colonies while offering symbolic performance of unity. Scholars like Nalili Mohabir argue that Caribbean nations should stop welcoming royal tours until the UK answers CARICOM's reparation demands. The time for ceremonial smiles is over. The reality is simple. King Charles has never truly embraced the diversity of the Commonwealth. His public remarks, private decisions, and political alliances reveal a monarch who is out of touch with the modern world and unfit to represent it. The Commonwealth deserves a leader who respects its people, not one who performs for the press. It's time to stop mistaking ceremony for change. It's also time to stop ignoring the racism. That is such a beautifully written article by Femi Negra, and it highlights just how racist this man has been, and he's always gotten to walk away with that. And then when Harry and Meghan speak up, oh, they're lying, oh no, that never happens, or they're both trying to ruin the royal family, to just incite hatred towards them. They go on and on, but with this damning evidence from time and time again, it's clear this man hates Black people, and that's why he cannot stand his own biracial kids. I mean, why else would he have concerns of, Archie? Mind you, he was not even born at that time, but he was already questioning how dark his skin tone is going to be. And I mean, this is the man who we expect him to take care of his grandkids, to give them safety and security, when he just had these concerns of how dark his skin tone is going to be in the first place. This man is disgusting, and the world is watching, and you see these videos coming up. People are waking up to who he is. And then when I see the Republic literally boo at him, they want to abolish the monarchy, I truly support that, because he's failed as a king, he's failed as a father, as a grandfather. The only thing, or the only person he cares about is himself. And of course, Camilla, he does not care about the safety of his own son. Mind you, a son who served his nation, gone to war for his nation, who's done a lot for the veterans of his own country, more than he's ever done. During the Invictus game, he never said a word, even sent his support. He could care less about the veterans. Harry, who is not a criminal, who's done so many things for his country, has fought for his country, gone to war for his country, to protect his country, they treat him that way. And one of the reasons is, why that is? It's because he married a woman of color and he has biracial kids. That is how they treat them. They cannot stand Black people. And it's just sad. And this is the person who is, king. if he can treat his own son that way, if he does not care about the safety of his own grandkids, of his own son and his wife, what makes you think he cares about the safety of a UK citizen? What makes you think he does that? I want you to let me know. Give me an answer in the comments. As always, I'm Raj. Don't forget to like and to share this video. Stay tuned and I will see you in my next video.